everyone. Now, where I'm standing is Zhejiang Chinese Medicine Museum. Chinese medicine, namely the medicinals that we use since ancient time. And it including botanic medicine, animal medicine, and also mineral medicines. Why are we using those materials? This is because in the ancient time, our ancestors believed our human being is one part of the nature. We should follow the principles and the rulers of the universe. And when someone got sick, this is because the body or the mind lost its balance. And we can find about the natural way to healing this kind of balance. And we will know that for thousands of years, under the guidance of Chinese medicine, those kind of cereals, our ancestors exploited and utilized all the nature resource and using it to treating and preventing the diseases. We can say they are the main weapons of our TCM. And it is the great combination of Chinese civilization and medical practice. In this kind of hall, they are including more than thousands of herbs and medicinals. And let me show you around. Okay, now, here is the first step of today's museum adventure. Here, this is about a kind of the flower wall you will find. Here exhibited many flowers. Flowers, grass, roots, trees, leaves, all those kind of things can be collected and be used as medicinals, or we call it herbs in TCM. And the flowers, we can find so many flowers in here. Here exhibited more than 100 types of the specimen of the flower. And I also believe in Western, they are also using about the flower to treating this, like rosemary. It can tranquilize in the mind and also can end inflammation. And right now, people are using a lot to losing weight and also using about the fragrance. And now you can find in here, there has a sakura. And also you can find in yuanzhi in here. So we will find about the flowers, grass, and trees. They are all from the nature, but they all can helping people and also applied a lot in nowadays. And I wish you can come and have a look about all those kind of flowers. Now you can see this kind of wood in here. And you may be confused, what is this? It is called chenxiang, and it's always frequently can be found in Southeast Asia. And this kind of wood is very expensive. It is a typical botanic medicine. Function of this kind of wood, it is can moving the qi, stopping the pain, warming the middle inside, and also tranquilizing nauseous and stop vomiting. And right now, I believe like this size of the wood, it's very expensive. Chinese medicine refers to the material used to prevent, diagnose, and treat disease under the guidance of TCM source. And since ancient times, people have used to call Chinese medicinals 本草. 本, it means the root. 草, that is means grass. But combined together, it represents the herbs which we're using frequently. And as time goes by, 本草 become the name for Chinese medicinals. And now in here, we will find our Chinese ancestors, they prefer to recording everything. And also they record about all the materials, all the knowledges, all the resource by generations. So you can find about many books in here. Those books are recording about all the materials and all the medicinals from Ming, Qing, and until now, and even from about the Han Dynasty and to Tang Dynasty and to now. They also have some samples and also have some books. And now you can see here is a very special cabinet. Those kind of wood cabinet is made by some special wood. They are always using to storing about the herbs, or we call it the medicinals. And they're on their front, on their panel, you can find some Chinese characters. They are telling about people what's started in here. And also you can see some of the advertisements. And in ancient time, people always using this to broadcasting about their herbs, about their formulas, and of course, boost up their pharmacy. After introducing the general concept about our medicinals, and now we come to a very important part. This is about the property of Chinese medicinals. The property that it means about the natures and the functions about the medicinals which we used in ancient time, and of course until now. And why we're doing on this? This is because our ancestors in ancient time, they go into the wild. They test the leaves, they test the flower, and also they test the roots in the nature. And they find each medicinals has its own properties and also has its own functions. As time goes by, they record and also research on it. In the end, they got a conclusion. Each medicinals, they can classify into two concepts. One is called 四气, another is called 五味. 四气五味, this is a very important conclusion, or we call it description for Chinese medicinals. 四气, that is means four natures, not the four gas. Natures, that is means about the properties of the herbs. And they're using about warm, cold, warm, hot, and cool. Those four concepts to describe it. Like we said, treating the heat, then we're using the cooling method. Treating the cold, when using the warm method. So as time goes by, we're using those kind of herbs to treating different types of the diseases. Besides the four natures, and then we have the 5 tests of the herbs. Like we eat everything, we know there has some tests. So this special 5 tests about the medicinals, that is sour, sweet, pungent, salt, and bitter, those 5. For example, like ginger, or onion, and even wasabi, those kind of herbs, the test is pungent or even spicy. So they are using very frequently in treating common cold, or even can open our orifice. And also like the bitter and the salt, those kind of herbs, we're using treating about like the lower part, especially for edema, those kind of the diseases. And the 四气五味, they are the very important concept about our Chinese medicinals. And we know medicinals, there are so many types, but we seldom using them in single. And why? Because we find the combination into group, it will help to treating the disease directly and also more functionally. And look about in here, this kind of way when we're organizing all the herbs into group, this is called a compatibility of Chinese medicine. And this kind of way, it is guided by our traditional Chinese medicine series. And why we're using that? Because by this way, we are not only can using, or how to say, utilize the effectives of each herbs, but also can avoid the toxins of each herbs. And you will find in here, some herbs mixed together, they will guarding about the toxin or even destroy some effectives. So how to combine them together? This is a kind of the magic of our TCM. And in this world, we can find several pages, or we call it several groups. And they are all organizing into numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so many, those kind of we call the formulas. And those formulas, like the top one, that is called a 独参汤, that is only using 1 ginseng to treating the disease. But this is very seldom. Normally, we can find about all the herbs, they are working together. For example, like in here, 地黄, 当归, 白芍, 川芎, when they are organizing together, they can improve the functional and play the totally effectives of each herbs. Like this one, this is very good for female. And also they have several about like the 六味地黄汤 and also 八味肾气丸. Those 2 herbs are using a lot to treating about like the kidney deficiency, or we call it is to replenishment our energy. So this is very special. And how to reduce the toxin, how to combine together. This needs a lot of learning. Let me show you the next chapter. There have so many tools our ancestors used. Okay, here you can find about the special chapter about our Chinese medicinals. This is called a processing of Chinese medicinals. What is called a processing? Like we said, in ancient time, we collect the trees, the leaves, the root, or even the miners from the nature. They are all rough. And how you can using it as a kind of the herbs for patient. And then here is a very important stage of our TCM. That is called processing. In Chinese, it's called 中药炮制. And here you can find some unfamiliar tools, like that one, those kind of knife. That is called a straw chopper, which can cut the straw into pieces. And also, they have some grinder. And also, this is a mire. This is can squeezing and grinding all the things into powder, and there has a kind of tube can come into outside. So those are all the ancient tools which our ancestors used a lot. And now come follow me to this part. And you will find why 炮制 is so important. Because like we said, the herbs which we collected, some has toxin, but some, the function maybe is too cold. So how to using them in the right way? This is by processing. We can change the functions and change the effectiveness of each herbs. Like the 半夏, we know it has some toxin in it. So we using the ginger to making it, to processing it. It not only reducing the toxin, but also can promote the application of 半夏. Beside 半夏, like 茯苓 and also 甘草, they also has a lots of different kind of the types. 炮制, 炮, that is means using a lot of the fire related tools like the frying, boiling, and also like the baking, all those things. Like the 制, it is refers more wide processing method. And they are all used by our ancestors by generation and generations. And so many pictures you can have a look in here. And I believe those kind of processing will continue be used in our generation and in next generation. As we know, China is huge. And how huge is that? You maybe have no idea about that. Can you believe right now in Hangzhou, in the southeast, this city, if you want to fly to Tibet, it will cost you 5 hours and 55 minutes. And then we know that because it is huge, so China possesses abundant natural medical resource. There are 12,000 kinds of the Chinese medicinal recorded in available data. And also, they are all can classified according to different region. And why? Because, you know, southeast with the northwest, the earth, the mud, the weather, the climate are totally different. So the plant, the animal, they all has different kind of natures. And the different area, maybe they have the same herbs, but their quality is also different. Like some special herbs in special region has the good quality, and then we call it is the 道地药材. 道地, that is means about general aesthetic habitat of medicinal materials. And according to the different regions, our Chinese medicinals can be classified into 10 special 道地药材. Some is from the Sichuan province, some is from Guangzhou, Guangdong, those areas. Also, some is from Yunnan, and some it is from our Zhejiang. And why Zhejiang has so many herbs? Because we know Zhejiang, it is a kind of place near the ocean, but also has a lot of mountains. And this area is in the southeast. The climate is humid and also warm. So in this place, they have many plants. And each plant has their special quality and a special taste, or we call it effectives. And now in this world, you can find this is all about the specimen which made by our TCM students. and also by some teachers. All those specimens, they can show us how abundant of our Zhejiang's medicinals. Okay, this is a picture of China. And you can see this is Zhejiang province. And in this area, here is ocean. Here has a lot of mountains. And the green part always choosing about the hills or the mountains. And look about in here. Zhejiang, they have so many those kind of the good quality herbs which we found, like baizhu, xuanshen, and so many things. And also, like for example, like this houpu. This is a very special. The flower and the trunk and also the root, they all can be used in TCM. And they also can treating about the digestion problems. So you can find Zhejiang in this area, they have lots of herbs, but among them, they have 8 very famous herbs. And why we call it famous? Because we can say those 8 herbs you can find in other provinces. But in Zhejiang, they have the best quality. So we call it 这八味. Okay, so we talked so many things which hung in the world. And now I'll show you some 3D imaging. Now, we're walking into this world, we can find they have so many specimens which is using about our Chinese medicinals. There are some herbs, they also have some animals. And also, of course, you can find about some seafood, or we call it the medicinals from ocean. And in here, you can find those herbs we are collected in the nature. We collect them, we classify them into about different types. Some is treating about the exterior problem, like the common cold, like about the summer heat, and so many things. And each drawers you can find there are some herbs which are stored in there, and they are all kept in a good way, and also can showing us how special and how typically about our medicinals. And now we can walk around, and you can find each specimen contains root, stalk, leaves, flower, or even about the seeds. Here is all about what we call the botanic medicine. And besides botanic medicine, we also have animal medicine. But we know since 1988, our China has already set some policies to forbidden using the wild animal. And before, we were using those animals frequently. And right now, we're using some medicinals to instead of it. That means not using the animal. And we all know, like the beer, in ancient time, people were using about their gallbladder. But right now, it is totally forbidden. So don't worry about this part. We are obey the laws. Besides this, you can see here I have some medicinals from ocean. Like the turtle, in ancient time, we're using their turtles. But right now, those kind of herbs is become very less. And besides this, we also can find some special one. They are very pretty, right? Some is called shanhu, and they are all the seeds. And those kind of herbs, when we grinding them into the powder, it can tranquilize them about the mind. We will find botanic medicine, animal medicine, or minor medicine. They are all collected from nature. By using them, we can find the balance, or we call it can support our body recovery. Like I introduced before, they have a special 8 herbs which famous in Zhejiang, or they have the best quality in Zhejiang. Here they are. One is called 浙贝母. Another is called 温郁金, and also 白芍, 麦冬, 芍药, 白术. Those kind of herbs. Why they are so famous? Have a look in here. For example, like the 贝母, there has a 川贝, 浙贝, and a special different kinds. And each of them has the basic function. They are similar. But in 浙贝母, and very good about eliminate the phlegm in our body. So it was using a lot to treating about the phlegm problem. And also like a 白芍, this kind of one, it is using a lot in gynecology, like I said before. So it is very good for treating the irregular menstruation and also treating about the dysmenorrhea. And those kind of the herbs we collected, we processing, and finally we using them in the pharmacy. This is because they have the best quality. And right now, a lot of the farms, and we are going to raising those kind of the herbs. And we hope in the future, we still can using them to treating this. Have a look about this kind of special wood. This is called a 鸡血藤, and this is how its name comes from. 鸡血, that means the blood of the chicken. So this kind of the wood is very special. And normally the size is like this, but like this huge size, it grows more than 100 years. Okay, come to this cabinet. You will find out lots of different kind of root. This root, they are not only just tiny root. They are very famous. They are called ginseng. Besides the normal medicinals, they have some very precious medicines. Ginseng, they are the relatives of American ginseng, but their functions and effectives are totally different. For example, look about in here. Each ginseng have their different size and has different colors, and even about the mustache. And they all telling about the age and the function of them. And we will know that the ginseng grow into this size, especially like this one, they almost need about 10 years at least. And so we can say not the bigger the better, but the ager is very important. Look about in here. This kind of ginseng, the size is smaller than but it has the best quality. This almost has 20 years to grow into this one. So we can say about that. Ginseng is a very special medicine which our Chinese people using a lot, especially for the very weak people, like a malnutrition, like the malnutritional. And even in ancient time, to saving some people almost will die, they were boiling the ginseng into a tiny soup and let them drink. And this can replenish their energy. And now the winter is coming, so our Chinese people prefer to cutting them into pieces and boiling them into juices and drinking them as tea. Okay, hi, welcome to our China pharmacy. And look about here, this is a typical sample of our Chinese pharmacy. And in ancient time, patients will bring the prescription to come to here, and they have some staff who working here. They will take the prescription, and according to the prescription, they were going to take out the cabinet and to find out about all the herbs. And those kind of herbs, they will be calculated by a special tools. Yes, this kind of things. So about they took it, for example, like huangbo, and then took it about this. If some need into the powder, so this kind of tools coming out, and we putting about the herbs into it, and using this to grinding it. After doing that, they will put it in a kind of special paper and wrapping them into about according to the different doses. So with this kind of way, this is called a pharmacy. In here, those cabinets storing the herbs, and also some staff works in here. Some staff were working in here. This shape is like a kind of the boat. And this kind of things is very huge. In ancient time, this one not only handled by our hand, but by the staff's feet. Because by using that, they can grinding all the herbs into powder in a very quickly way, but also can save the energy and the time. So is that very smart, right? With so many things, the herbs can be processed and also can be rubbed. In ancient time, the patient will bring the prescription, go back, boiling it by themselves. But in nowadays, they have some factory can helping the patient to boiling the herbs, just making into different kind of decoctions and sending it to all the patients. It's very convenient and also save the money. As we know, development is very important, not only for human beings, but also for our Chinese mediciners. So in here, in this place, you can see those are about all the samples which represent the research and development of our TCM. Like this one, 康莱特. This is a kind of the injection which using frequently to treating about the cancer, and it was made by our master of our university, Li Dapeng. And this is taken from about the yiren, is a special seed, and we find this one is very good at treating about the lung cancer and the liver cancer. Besides this, in this year, since 2020, we were being attacked by the COVID-19. So besides the West methods and drugs, our TCM also play important role in ending the COVID-19. For example, in here, we have several this kind of prescription. Some was made into about the powder, which is easily for taking, for patient to taking. And also we have some about the drugs and herbs mixed together into tiny packs, which can hang in the house. It also can eliminate the COVID-19. So as we know, research is the important step for everything. And also developing is the way to keep all the things in use. So we will find step by step, I believe our Chinese mediciners can play important role in medical activities. Besides the treatment, in prevention, TCM play very important role. Look about in here, we have many types of the patent medicine, or called tonification products. Look about in here, like the 阿胶当归, this kind of the liquid, which using frequently for lady. And you know, women needs about the blood. And with the enough blood, our face and our body were in a good mood. And then this one can tonify our blood and also activating it, which makes us, our skin, our body, our muscle into a very good shape. And beside that, there are also some like the liquid, or we call this kind of the beverage. And this kind of one is take from about the herbs. Also very good about to raising the immunity of our body. I think the taste maybe not so good as Coca-Cola, but also this good for your body. And you know, China has a lot of delicious food. And some of them, they are not only food, but they are also one part of our Chinese mediciners. And we know about the 4 seasons in China, not only just the 4 seasons. We also classify them into 24 solar terms. And these 24 solar terms, each term including 15 days. And in there, they describe about the climates, describe about the animal manifestation, and also describe the nature's performance. So in there, in each season, we have some food suggestion. And those food suggestions is not only about the food we eating those days. They are also including some medicines we're using in our TCM. For example, look about in here. In the springtime, we also will, according to the season, to eating some vegetable and also some suitable food. For example, they were using about the xiangchun, is a kind of special butter of the trees, and using that fried with eggs. And also you can see the dumpling. And this one, it's a special about using about the 艾草, using the juice to mix it with the flour and covered with some the red beans salt in the inside. And it's called 青团, especially in the springtime. And in the summertime, of course, summer is hot and humid in this place. So we're using about a lot of the food to eliminate dampness, but also to reduce the heat feeling from outside and inside. And you will find a lot of the soups, especially that one is famous in Zhejiang area. It is called using about the root of the lotus. And using it, the inside, putting some sticky rice. It is very delicious food. And the next time if you come here, I want to invite you to have a try about this cushion. And in the autumn time, we know autumn that it's a little bit dry. And the body needs a lot of the fluid and the liquid. So you will find about lots of the things they are going to produce or moisten our body. And like the soup, especially like a kind of ying'er, it is a kind of special fungus. When we're boiling it, this one can moisten our lung and also our skin. So very good for this one. And the last time is winter time. And the winter time we can find they have a lots of the meat. Why? Because we think winter time, it is a period we should storing our essence and our energy. So we're using mutton and using about a lot of the fried meat, those things to increase the energy, increase our immunity in this special season. In Zhejiang province, we not only have the famous medicinals, but we also have some famous teas. And I think some of you maybe know it. The most famous one, the green tea, is called Longjing, especially near the West Lake. But beside that, we also have some specialties like the black tea, and this kind of the tea also has a special name called 九曲红梅. It been steamed and processed in a special way, so the taste was very good. And the black tea, compared with the green tea, it's more warm and more soft. So it is very good to warming the stomach and suitable for the people who cannot standing the cold feeling in the stomach. Beside that, we also have some special medicinal teas. And for example, in Songyang, this special city, we also have putting about the huoxiang and some flowers, some leaves, and also some grass mixed them together. And when we're drinking it, it's a special beverage in the summertime. So beside those teas and the famous cushions, China, we can say we had already developed a very good system of our medicines, not applied in medical practice, but also applied in our daily life. I hope this kind of general introduction about our Chinese medicines can open a gate for all of you. And I wish next time when you come to China, when you come to Hangzhou, and I can bring you to show you the vivid Hangzhou. Thank you.